Alright, so on the last episode I left off after getting the Charmander, getting my Bulbasaur, and getting my first 2 badges. So now it's time to get into some of my more favorite parts of the story of this game, and this is the battle from the Pokemon Academy. When Ash runs to that trainer and finds out that they're going to this academy to learn about Pokemon, and he doesn't think that it's the real way to learn Pokemon. You know, they're not learning real battles, and he battles the young schoolgirl or lass, or I forget what her archetype was, but it was like the head of the class, and she had that Cubone and just wrecked him the first time. I think they had to battle twice. Man, I used to have such a fond memory of that little arc, and like these fun little tangents Ash went off on, and we never got to experience it because that Battle Academy did not exist in the original Red, Blue, Yellow. I don't know, maybe they had it in one of the other games. I just don't remember. But yeah, it's just like, that was fun. It's so fun to find these trainers in this game and be like, hey, I know this guy. This is this one character that I've always wanted represented in a game. So yeah, with that said, we're going to see a few more of those in this episode, and we're going to head down and get on the SSN. And no, there's no secret Mew truck. Or if there is, I haven't found it yet, and maybe I should start looking. But first, we're going to make a little detour on the way down there and get our last starter original. So before we get to Vermilion City, this police officer tells us about the trouble.
Oh no! They're eating all the jelly donuts and eclairs!
They're drinking all the lemonade!
This is cruel and unusual!
Oh yes, there is trouble down here being caused by that Squirtle Squad. And I'll tell you this, Squirtle was always my favorite. It was my original starter the first time I ever played Pokemon Blue. It was the first Pokemon TCG card I ever had, and I always had a soft spot.
Huh? I caught something! Huh?
Squirtle!
I'm soaked! Me too.
Pikachu!
And that Squirtle Squad Squirtle with his cool sunglasses, like, that was always the best Squirtle. And he's always had the most attitude and was just kind of the coolest starter that Ash never evolved in terms of, like, my experience with the anime as a kid. I'm sure he has other cool Pokemon now. I think Greninja took over as, like, a fan favorite for years. But Squirtle was my boy. And so we're going to go explore this little city over here. And yeah, these people are all, getting harassed by the Squirtles. They're just terrorizing the city. And we go to this house back here. And who do we find but Jesse and James? And I guess they have convinced the Squirtle to battle for them or something. So we're going to slide in here and take out Jesse and James real quick. And I love all the tie-ins of Jesse and James that we have so far. I mean, we ran into them just like in the anime. Well, the anime, I think they see them in almost every episode, but we're getting the key battles here. We had the one in the Poké Center, and then now we're getting them here for the Squirtle encounter. I don't know, there's some other ones later in the anime that I feel like are pretty interesting. Like, there's the one where Butch and Cassidy show up, I think those are their names, and they do like a fake Pokemon contest. Although that ties more in with like Generation 2 or 3. I can't remember when they added Pokemon contests to the games. And as far as I know, this game does go on to future generations. Like, you can leave Kanto and go experience Johto and other regions. So we'll have to see where this game leads as it goes. So far, I have not over-leveled. Oh, man, am I saying true? Hang in there, buddy. Come on. This is the hard part, especially with Coughing with Levitate. His strongest moves aren't going to be effective there or even useful. Bringing my little cheat code over here, Mr. Fire Lizard. And he should take out Coughing pretty quick. Hopefully Coughing doesn't have self-destruct, although I have enough team left over that I can power through here. Oh yeah, just a tackle. That's not bad at all. So with Squirtle, I will have all 3 starters just like Ash. Although, unlike Ash, I'm not going to limit my Bulbasaur and Squirtle to staying just as their first evolutions. If I need them later in this game, because thinking ahead, I mean, I have the Grass Gym. I'm not sure what other Fire type I'll be able to get before then. Charmander would be very useful there. Koga's a Poison type. I mean, honestly, Charizard would probably be useful there. Blaine is Fire type. And I have Poliwag, but Poliwag kind of becomes more of a fighting type. So I guess I have so I don't have to use Squirtle. And then Grass, we've already passed the gyms where the Grass Pokemon would be effective. So we may have already exhausted our usefulness for Bulbasaur. But maybe we can find something else for him to do. Now before we get down to Bill's Lighthouse, we are going to go pick up one more Pokemon. Oh, Black Glasses. That's cool. I wonder what the Black Glasses do. I'm going to have to throw that on Squirtle and see if it gives him some sort of attack boost. But I'm picking up Krabby here. I can't remember if Ash evolved Krabby into Kingler. I remember Krabby, I think it was the first Pokemon he caught that gets sent to Professor Oak, right? Because then he has to go call Professor Oak and be like, hey man, I caught this Krabby, he disappeared. And then, you can only have 6 Pokemon on you, even in the real world. Although, didn't that guy who abandoned Charmander have like a bag of Pokemon with like 100 Pokeballs in it? So why is Ash limited to just 6? And Professor, is it like a rules and regulations thing? But wasn't the Charmander guy in the gym challenge also? So is he just breaking the rules? I mean, he was kind of a trashy person who abandoned his Charmander. I don't know. These are... Now I'm thinking, like, is everyone abiding by this? Is everyone just keeping 6? But, like, when they have, like, Dragon Fighter Lance, and they bring him in to go and take out Team Rocket and save people's actual businesses and lives and go defend against the gang, is he showing up with just 6 Pokemon because that's the rules? Like, hey, we're abiding by the rules, like some sort of, like, Zoids thing where a judge is going to come down and banish them from competitive battling because they brought more than 6 Pokemon to a gang fight. I don't know. I mean, it was a nice game tie-in, though, I guess. Maybe they just had to tie the anime back into the game at that point. I'm grabbing Charmeleon and Ivysaur here. I think Bulbasaur can learn False Swipe, and that might just be the use for it. It might just help me catch Pokemon later in this game. Ooh, Lighthouse time. Okay, that is one of the coolest scenes for me personally, for like as a kid. That giant Dragonite, and I don't know if they ever explained why it was so big. Like maybe it wasn't actually giant. So Dragon is only like 5 or 6 feet tall, right? Like it's equivalent in size to a Charizard. I mean, it's not a giant Pokemon, but that was always the coolest thing. And I know in the games you have Bill who transformed himself into a Pokemon or got stuck in a Kabuto uniform or something. I can't remember why, but yeah, the Dragonite was always the coolest part of those episodes, and I think a Lighthouse comes back into play later with Ampharos, right? Like in a later generation, where the Ampharos is the Lighthouse Pokemon, like keeps it lit, and I'm trying to remember, but yeah, that Dragonite, and then I don't know when the next time we see a Dragonite in the anime series is, like maybe the Animatronic Island. But Dragonite was one that was so hard to get in the Gen 1 because you had to go get a Dratini from maybe the Game Center for a ton of coins or from the Savari Zone with like a really low catch rate. And then you just had to train it really hard. And I guess there was the rare candy glitch with missing number down there at the Cinnabar Island. But besides that, you have to just train and train and train and train and train. It was really... I mean, that's why it's a pseudo-legendary, I guess, because it was so hard to obtain. And it was one that I can't remember the first time I got one. Like, I had to have probably been multiple generations into the game by the time I went back and finally got my first Dragonite. And honestly, I can never really remember using it on any of my teams, because by the time I got it, I was probably past the Elite Four. I don't know. This blows my mind right here. So... this guy, Growlithe, I'm going to throw Poliwag in here, take this guy out real quick. But but it's his next Pokemon. Is this a locked Pokemon? Like, is he this next one that's going to come out? If you don't know, or if you do know, like if you've played this game, because I'm probably not going to go play a second save file, let me know. But he's about to use a shiny Growlithe. And I lost my mind when this popped out. I was so happy I was recording this, because is he always shiny? Or is there just a random chance that every trainer could have a shiny Pokemon? Because if it's random, wow, I hate that I wasted all of my shiny luck on this guy's Growlithe, because I will probably never get one for myself in this game, because I'm not shiny hunting. Or if it's a permanent lock and that guy just always has shinies, because that actually means there's shinies in this game, right? So I technically could go encounter a shiny Pokemon in the wild, and you can go encounter Ho-Ho at level 50 on Route 1 or whatever. So can I go and farm a shiny Ho-Ho if I played this game long enough? I don't even want to know what the odds are. I don't want to know what the shiny odds are. I'm sure it is ridiculous. Either way, when you find your way to the very back of the SSN, you do encounter Team Rocket. I think this battle in the anime occurs before the ship sinks. I can't remember. I really should rewatch this series. But the SSN was always interesting to me because what we got in the games is always so different than in the reality. Because in the show, the ship sank, and then they had to battle their way off the ship, and they ended up using their water Pokemon to get them up to the surface. And I have no idea how deep they were, but after that whole saga with that submarine over the summer, I'd be terrified, especially on a sinking ship like Titanic-style ship. And I guess the whole thing is kind of a Titanic reference, right? But the ship goes down because Team Rocket's scheme goes wrong, I believe. Man, and what a terrifying experience. Now, if you get a game where you have to escape the ship with your Pokemon, that would be next level. Although I really doubt we ever see that in any Pokemon game ever. I don't know, maybe some like fan-made or like spoof game. I know something just came out that's like a mix of Arc and Pokemon. And maybe something like that would give you, I don't know, an SSN sinking type adventure where you have to use your monsters to escape a ship that's barreling down to the bottom of the ocean. Also, I think Gyarados shows up in that episode. I can't remember if you've seen a Gyarados in the show before that. And what a terrifying sea dragon that is. But after taking out Jesse and James, the ship changes, and now there will be Team Rocket members everywhere. And so, I know in the original game you battle people on the ship. I can't remember if it was Team Rocket. And then you eventually battle your rival, and you figure out that the captain is seasick, and that's why they're stuck at port. So you give him a back rub, and he gives you the HM cut so you can get to the next gym. But yeah, even for as sketchy as the anime is, they are not going to make you give anyone a back rub. I did miss something earlier, though, is thinking about the anime. It's always funny to me how they changed all the names of the Japanese foods. Instead of the rice balls, they're jelly donuts! And so when the Squirtle Squad was attacking Team Rocket and eating all their food, they were yelling about their jelly donuts and stuff. And I guess they didn't think American audiences would be able to comprehend that they ate different foods in Japan, or would be able to figure out what those foods were. I mean, I guess this did come out in '98, so you had dial-up internet, so it's not like you could just, kids today could just flip open the Wikipedia and, hey, what is a rice ball, or what is this? And you could just Google the food name, and so, I don't know, maybe there's some validity to that. But just always weird to me, especially once you like understand, you know, go eat some Japanese cuisine and you see like the foods in the game and it just doesn't line up with what they're yelling about. Because like I've never seen a jelly donut that looks like that. But I don't know, different times I guess. So battling through this, none of my Pokemon are really above 24, 25 at this point. I think Charmander is Charmeleon now is starting to stand out as probably my strongest one. I did have to take advantage of going back to my cabin to rest a lot. Like, I couldn't just keep going without fear of getting taken out on these battles. Like, they were all just competitive enough that who knows what the next character has. If they have something to just type advantage against me, I just had to be prepared. I had to keep going back to the well and make sure that I was ready to continue this journey. The kitchen, I don't think it had any battles in Red, Blue, Yellow. But they did have items. I think this is where you can get your first Great Ball, maybe. Other items. So here we find berries in the trash, because that's where you want to find your berries, is you want to dig through the trash and then just feed them to your Pokemon. I mean, that's what I would do, right? Trash berries. No, it makes sense. I mean, it's a good place to hide some items. The original games literally had areas just to hide items. I think they kind of, I don't know, maybe they still do that? I guess the new, more open world games, they just kind of throw the items out wherever they need to. But, I mean, they were like little backyard areas that you only existed for you to use the item finder to go find a rare candy or something. At this point, Charmeleon is 23. He's getting pretty strong. He's really not going to be useful to me in the next battle against Lieutenant Surge, though. Surge is an electric type, and I have Sandshrew, and one of my favorite Pokemon, by the way, who I absolutely love. And I have planned, since I got him, to use him in my battle with Surge. And I'm not sure how many Pokemon Surge will use. I think in the anime, he only used Raichu against Ash's Pikachu. So I would assume this game is similar. He will only have one Pokemon. It will probably be Raichu. And hopefully with my type advantage, no matter what level I am, ground type should defeat electric type. This, I believe, is the gentleman. I think Ash duels him. So maybe we didn't fight Team Rocket in the anime. Maybe I'm wrong. But he's the Eradicate. And Ash fights with Butterfree. And the guy really likes Butterfree. So Ash trades with him. Trades him the Butterfree. And then regrets it because he loves Butterfree, because he caught him as a Caterpillar, or Caterpie, and evolved him to Metapod, had the Metapod battle, and Ash gets all his sads, and as the ship's about to sink, he trades Butterfree back, trades away the Eradicate, and gets Butterfree back, which is all, you know, a really sad moment, and really tender, and something I remember so well from the anime, but also, then he just releases Butterfree, like, 3 episodes later, so it's like, okay, I mean, I guess you want Butterfree to be free. I guess it's one of those things about, you know, they have friends and family and lives to live, and you want to let the Pokemon go, you know, still be Pokemon. But, yeah, for someone who got so emotional about a Butterfree to, you know, let him go free a few episodes later, just kind of, I guess he didn't want to keep him on that bad. Or maybe he loved him so much, he just didn't want him to be that guy's Pokemon. He wanted to be free. After all that, I do rescue the captain from Team Rocket. I take out the last of the leaders here on the ship. And the ship's sinking. Oh, the ship does sink. Okay. Ship's sinking. Team Rocket's running away. Oh, no. All right. Quick, get off the ship. And because we're at port, we're all able to escape. Awesome. And I've beaten the SSN. So now it's time to move back to gyms in the next episode here. If you liked what you watched, if you like my commentary, let me know. If you want me to change my commentary, if you think it could be more entertaining some way, let me know. I'm still figuring this out, and I would love your input, especially if you like any semblance of what I'm doing. So please keep watching, and hopefully you enjoy the next episodes. Let's continue this journey through Kanto. Alright, catch y'all next week.